Tales from the top flight.
With friend of the show, the one and only, Chris Darwen. Are you there, baby?
How you doing?
Chris, I love you, brother. Before we get to our chat, we've just had a breaking rumour. We've got two Brentford fans on the lime green sofa for the first time. Nigel Reo-Coker to Brentford. What do you think about that?
I think it's amazing that when you put the names into a hat, somebody actually came up with Nigel Reo-Coker. That's amazing.
Fantastic. Lots to get through tonight, Chris, you lovely man. Let's start with England's 3-0 win over Scotland. What were your thoughts on that?
I know, it was incredible, wasn't it? On Friday night, Liverpool fans were all over international football. They thought it was the greatest thing in the world. Now Lallana's gone off injured. They all hate international football, and it's the worst thing in the world. So, yeah, you can't really please the Liverpool fans at the moment. You've got to be a good team to wear pink, haven't you?
Yes, absolutely.
And Scotland are not a good team. I mean, Mel Gibson will be turning in his grave having seen that Scotland performance from the side at Wembley on Friday. Anybody who thought it was going to be a classic game, the fact that it was managed by two former Middlesbrough managers would have been the first clue. The second clue would have probably been Scotland's lineup. I mean, deciding to leave two of their better players on the subs bench would suggest that Strachan's looking for the quickest way out of the job rather than trying to qualify for another expanded tournament. But yeah, I give Wayne Rooney a bit of stick, you may have noticed, but we found something good on Friday. Turns out he is actually better at corners than Harry Kane. Who thought it? So the deafening noise he got from Wembley Stadium on Friday night wasn't necessarily the fans. It was all the Liverpool fans quickly typing into their mobile phones, telling everyone how Liverpool were going to win England the World Cup next time round. But I don't think that's probably going to happen either. Danny Rose and Kyle Walker actually put in the sort of performance at Wembley that Pochettino would love to see from them in some Champions League games. But then again, they weren't exactly playing wingers with any skill, brain or talent whatsoever. So yeah, all in all, I wasn't that impressed.
Chris, with regards to Gordon Strachan, no official word yet, but he can't be long for the job, can he?
He can't be, but who are they going to give it to? Nobody wants that job. I mean, I heard Graham Souness being talked about the other day as being a potential shout. I guess that's because he's about the only Scotsman who hasn't done the job yet. So, no, mind you, it would get him out of Sky Studio, so that would be quite useful.
Well, somewhat flippantly, Chris, when Strachan himself was asked when he was appointed, he said they should have got George Graham.
Yeah, that's not a bad shout, George. I mean, he's probably right with his finger on the pulse of modern-day football at the moment, having not done anything for, what, a decade now? Mind you, with Scotland's current tactics, he'd probably fit right in.
And Chris, we heard a rumour today about Northern Ireland manager Michael O'Neill going to Scotland. Does that make any sort of sense to you?
No.
Yeah, it's a crazy one, isn't it? Yeah, not one of our better rumours, that.
None whatsoever.
Charlie Nicholas has also said Strachan has got to go. Chris, do you think he's got to go?
He's got to go. You cannot take your team. I mean, let's be fair. The Simpsons predicted that any team that wore pink at Wembley were going to get absolutely battered. They predicted that around back in 2002. So Gordon Strachan taking his team, a country that gave us wee Jimmy Johnson, Graham Souness, Alan Hansen, Kenny Dalglish and Alan Hutton, and you go out and you play in pink. That's just nah.
And Chris, before we move on, where on earth was Burke, the Bundesliga player, plays for Leipzig? Why on earth is Strachan not choosing him?
Well, that's what I mean about not picking your best team. You've got a kid who's absolutely tearing up the Bundesliga. He's the Scottish Gareth Bale. And you decide to leave him on the bench when you're going up against fullbacks, and no disrespect to Walker and Rose, will give you a chance to get down the side and maybe cause some damage. Scotland, to be fair, should have been 3-1 up before England broke and got their second goal. So with a bit of quality in there, you never know. Chris,
we're just hearing, we've got breaking news. You're not going to believe this, brother. Vardy has just scored for England.
Come on! That's all of
Brilliant.
Unbelievable reaction on the floor tonight. Can you believe it? Vardy has scored, for goodness sake.
Fantastic. That means I've got to rewrite tomorrow's column when we get off this.
Chris, so let's have your thoughts on England-Spain. What are you thinking?
From what I've seen so far, I mean, Spain are well known for not giving a rat's whatever about friendly games, and they showed that with their lineup. To be fair, it was a fantastic ball in from Lallana to Vardy to win the penalty. Pepe Reina showing why David De Gea is a far better goalkeeper than he is. Very good penalty from Lallana, but it's a typical friendly at Wembley.
Yeah.
We're 1-0 up. So what if we win? Let's do it in actually when it counts.
And Chris, we're hearing today that Southgate will be offered by the FA a £1.5 million a year contract, regardless of tonight's result, to manage us all the way till 2020. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, Gareth will be chuffed, bearing in mind that every single England manager before him's about £5 million a year. He'll feel really special with that contract offer.
Allardyce was being paid, was it £2 million a year or $2 million plus, wasn't it?
It was $2 million plus, I think. I mean, even Hodgson was on something ridiculous. I think he was the most paid manager in Euro 2016. So if you're worse off than Roy Hodgson, life is taking a turn for the worse.
We're hearing the deal will also include a break clause in 2018.
Yeah, conveniently just after we crash out of the World Cup in a disappointing group.
OK, but it would be a good result, of course, if we end up winning this friendly tonight 2-0. Of course, that would be something to celebrate, surely.
No.
I love it. Brilliant. OK, let's move on to general Premier League chat, Chris. What's happening?
Well, not a great deal, but there's a few things to talk about. I mean, Harry Kane and Hugo Lloris, those working-class footballers called Harry and Hugo, they're apparently not going to be sticking around to bottle a title challenge in their new Tottenham stadium, because they've just heard that Sissoko's earning twice as much as they are, and understandably they're not too happy about that. And Spurs, for some reason, aren't prepared to match Sissoko's wage. So it looks like they could be off in the summer, which would be great news for Spurs fans.
Yeah, it would seem, Chris, that Levy will not break his wage ceiling. So Lloris is in a transfer talks at the moment, and we're hearing that if Lloris doesn't get what he's looking for, then neither will Kane. So you think there's every chance that Kane will be off?
Yeah, there's every chance. I mean, the guy's got a fair shout. I'm not all for paying sort of footballers crazy money, but if Sissoko is earning more than you are, then you need to go and have a word with your chairman. Though, to be fair, Sissoko did have a marginally better Euro 2016 than Harry Kane did, so I can understand how he ended up getting that whopping contract.
Yeah. Are you getting excited about the Arsenal-Man U game on the 19th, Chris?
Yeah, a little bit. Arsen's a little bit worried. He said it was suicidal if Sanchez was to play against Chile this international week. I'm not sure who's topping themselves just yet, but bearing in mind he was declared fit to play by Chile, it could be Wenger that's on a bit of a suicide watch at the moment. Also, the Spanish forward Lucas Perez has joked that it's been hard to learn English whilst at Arsenal, and Jack Wilshere completely agreed with him.
Chris, have you heard the rumour today that Wayne Rooney will go to America to play for a new MLS franchise in Los Angeles when his contract ends at Manchester United in 2018?
I hadn't, but bearing in mind that they're just getting rid of two past English players, there is a vacancy for someone the size of Rooney to take up both those spaces, I presume. So yeah, it could well happen. I mean, Lampard has just said this week that he's leaving New York once his contract expires, which got Chelsea fans overly excited that he might be coming back to Stamford Bridge. Gerrard has said today that he's got offers both on the pitch and off the pitch in the UK to come back and play. I'm presuming the offer he's got on the pitch is one of the Chelsea players offering to help him up after he slipped over and cost Liverpool the title a couple of years ago.
Chris, you absolute legend. Always a pleasure to talk to you. Thanks for Skyping in. Will I talk to you again next week?
Of course you will, mate. I shall see you then.
You lovely man. Subscribe to Tales from the Top Flight. It's awesome.